The Seattle Seahawks have quietly become the NFC's biggest mystery. 5 wins in 7 games, yet no one can decide if they're a real threat or just a hot streak waiting to fade. Every week they tease greatness, then leave fans holding their breath. Something about this team feels unpredictable, like they're one small shift away from turning into a powerhouse. The question is whether that shift will happen in time. Under Mike Macdonald, the Seahawks don't win with luck. They win with intent. Every drive feels calculated, every adjustment deliberate. But even at 5-2, there's a sense they haven't played their best football yet. The run game sputters, third down stall, and missed chances on defense keep games closer than they should be. You can almost feel the frustration beneath the smiles. A team that knows it's capable of more but hasn't quite found its full gear. That pressure is now shifting to the one man steering it all. Sam Darnold has turned doubters into believers, but the story is far from complete. His calm, sharp command of the offense is redefining Seattle's rhythm. Yet the next stretch will decide if this is a comeback or a transformation. Because if he keeps this level of control, the Seahawks might not just compete in the NFC, they might own it. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Seahawks and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 200 likes on this video. Seattle just found the calm voice every contender needs, and his name is Sam Darnold. The Seahawks keep stacking wins while he keeps shrinking the chaos around him. Under heat, he stands tall, resets his feet, and delivers with purpose. The league expected flash and fades. What Seattle got instead is timing, command, and a quarterback who finally matches this roster's ambition. Here is what changes everything. Darnold is getting the ball out fast, which helps an offensive line that is still growing, and he is winning when the pocket cracks. He owns 5 touchdown passes under pressure, and the team has allowed 9 sacks in the first 7 games, a mark that speaks to trust and rhythm. The throws are on time, the eyes move with patience, and the mistakes do not snowball. That steadiness turns long fields into points and gives the defense room to hunt. The question now is scale. If this same control carries into November and December, Seattle's ceiling shifts. The quick game opens play action, the red zone menu expands, and defenses will have to pick their poison, which leads to the next key piece of the surge. Darnold's best partner is not a secret anymore, and the rest of the NFC can feel it coming. Enter Jackson Smith-Njigba. The Seattle Seahawks just found a new way to scare defenses, and it starts with Jackson Smith-Njigba. He is not just piling up yards, he is tilting games. National voices now call him the best wideout in football, and the tape backs it up. He leads the league in production with 819 yards through 7 weeks, and he just ripped off 3 straight games with 8 catches and over 120 yards. That is not hype. That is a player taking over the season and forcing coordinators to change their plan on Monday morning. Here is why it works. He wins from the slot and outside, sets up defenders with patient feet, then bursts into open grass. He beats brackets by changing speed and stacking leverage, and his hands stay calm when bodies crash. Sam Darnold trusts him on timing routes and on broken plays. When the pocket moves, JSN finds the window and turns a smart throw into a chunk gain. On third down, he is the first red. In the red zone, he is the problem solver. And everywhere else, he is the matchup that keeps a drive alive. But here is the twist that could shape the rest of the year. His gravity will push safeties deep, yet that only matters if Seattle punishes light boxes on early downs. To keep JSN free and the play action sharp, they need a ground game that moves the chains and cuts the distance on third down. The spotlight now shifts from the air to the dirt because the next leap for this offense starts with one simple question. Can the Seahawks fix the run game fast enough to unlock everything else? The Seattle Seahawks cannot hide this any longer. The run game is the weak link that keeps stalling momentum. The numbers tell the story with no emotion. Seattle sits at 27th in yards per carry and 31st in rushing EPA per rush. The most painful part is the volume of dead plays. This offense has 49 runs that gain 0 or lost yards, which kills drives and flips field position. You can feel the air leave the building every time a first down carry gets stuffed. Blame does not live in one room. The interior line has been up and down, which narrows lanes before the handoff even hits the mesh. Reads have also missed at times. Kenneth Walker has the burst to house a cutback, yet there are snaps where the crease opens on the backside and the ball still slams into traffic. Zach Charbonnet has power, but too many of his carries die at the line because the first step meets a free hitter. The fix starts with cleaner footwork, tighter double teams, and decisive vision that follows the keys instead of the noise. Here's why this matters right now. When early downs go backward, third down turns into a long climb and the playbook shrinks. That is where good games slip away late. Seattle does not need a perfect run game. It needs a steady one that keeps the chains moving and keeps safeties honest for play action to bite. If they trim the negative carries and find 4 yards on first down, the entire offense changes shape. Which brings us to the next truth that will decide big games. Third down execution must rise. And it has to rise fast. Every contender eventually faces the same truth, and for the Seattle Seahawks, it lives on third down. This team scores enough to win, but the conversion rate exposes a hidden flaw. Over the last 2 weeks, they have converted less than 25% of their third downs, a number that belongs to struggling offenses, not playoff teams. The reason is simple: too many long yardage situations. Their average third down distance is 3rd and 7.7 yards, the worst mark in the NFC West. You can't control games when you're constantly chasing long fields. The problem snowballs with rhythm. Short gains on early downs keep the playbook wide open. Miss those, and defenses pin their ears back. When Seattle faces third and long, blitzes find home and drives die before they even start. This is where balance matters. Sam Darnold has proven efficient, and Jackson Smith-Njigba keeps drives alive, but without reliable short yardage help from the run game or quick completions underneath, they keep falling into the same trap. It's not about star power anymore, it's about sequencing. First down to third down, every snap connecting cleanly. If this offense learns to finish, the league is in trouble. They already average 27 points per game despite wasted possessions and turnovers. Imagine that same unit with steady third down control and red zone precision. That's the next step from good to great. But if offense is about rhythm, defense is about closure. And while Seattle's defense has played like a top-tier unit, one issue still lingers: the inability to finish plays that could end games outright. The Seattle Seahawks have the pieces of a championship defense, but the results still feel one step short. The stats say top 5, the film says potential number 1. Yet the same story keeps playing out: near interceptions, missed tackles, and lost fumbles that should have changed games. They have not recovered a single fumble this season, and that small detail separates elite from almost. It's not effort, it's finish, and Mike Macdonald knows it. His post-game comments keep circling one word: closing. Up front, the talent is clear. Leonard Williams collapses pockets, Byron Murphy controls the middle, and Uchenna Nwosu looks like the leader Seattle hoped for before injuries slowed him in past years. The pressure numbers back it up with double-digit hits and sacks across the rotation. But disruption means little if it ends in escapes instead of takedowns. Boy Mafi sits among the top 5 edge rushers in win rate, but has yet to post a sack, proof that the final moment is still missing. Each play flashes brilliance, then fades just before the whistle. The secondary mirrors that same tension. Rick Woolen's athletic range is elite, yet his tackling ranks near the bottom among defensive backs. Missed tackles have piled up, leaving extra yards that extend drives and drain momentum. It's frustrating because the foundation is strong. Devin Witherspoon and Julian Love return soon, restoring communication and depth. If this unit converts those near turnovers into real takeaways, it instantly transforms into the most complete defense in football. And that sets the stage for the players who quietly make it all possible, the ones doing the unseen work that keeps Seattle steady every week. Every strong roster hides a group of players who do the quiet work that keeps everything upright. And for the Seattle Seahawks, that list keeps growing. Linebacker Ernest Jones tops it. Since arriving in Seattle, he has stabilized the front seven and completely flipped their run defense. He leads the team in tackles and rarely misses an angle. His arrival finally filled the leadership gap left behind by Bobby Wagner and brought communication that makes this defense more connected than it has been in years. Tight end A.J. Barner has been the definition of reliability. He is not chasing headlines, but he keeps drives alive with crisp routes and strong blocks that open lanes for others. He already owns the third most receiving touchdowns among tight ends, and ranks inside the top 5 in efficiency for players with at least 10 targets. When the ball comes his way, the result is almost always positive. The same goes for Drake Thomas, a second-year linebacker who turned a backup role into a full-time impact spot. His speed through traffic and ability to diagnose plays early make him a perfect partner next to Jones in the middle. Then come the young names shaping Seattle's future. Rookie wideout Torrey Horton has scored 4 touchdowns on limited touches, including a 95-yard punt return that shattered a franchise record. His energy has made the special teams unit dangerous again. Players like Gray Zabel up front are giving solid snaps, showing how deep this roster runs. These names may not trend on social media, but they form the heartbeat of a team built on effort and unity. And as the spotlight starts to move back to the big picture, one question defines everything. What will it take for Seattle to turn these strengths into a full-blown NFC takeover? The Seattle Seahawks are standing at the edge of something big. They've proven they can win close games, silence critics, and develop young stars faster than anyone expected. But being good in October means nothing if you can't dominate in December. The second half of the season is where contenders separate from the rest. The schedule ahead, Commanders, Rams, Titans, Falcons, and 49ers, will reveal if this team can handle the grind. Every matchup will test discipline, depth, and the ability to adjust when pressure hits hardest. Seattle's formula for greatness is already on the table. Keep the run game steady, sharpen third downs, and turn defensive chaos into takeaways. If those boxes get checked, this roster can match up with anyone in the NFC. Sam Darnold's leadership gives them stability. Jackson Smith and Jigba's dominance stretches the field. And Mike Macdonald's system keeps their defense aggressive but organized. The pieces fit. Now it's about precision. The kind of focus that wins playoff games, not just regular season moments. So, the question lands on every 12's mind. Can Seattle finish what it started? Can this group evolve from a promising story into a legitimate NFC powerhouse? Drop your thoughts below, because this run is about to define a new era for the franchise. If you believe the Seahawks are ready to shock the conference, hit that like button, subscribe for daily updates, and let's ride together through the second half climb. The chase for the NFC crown starts now.